Wide receiver core for the Lions. It's kind of a big topic of what we're going to do going into the next year. And Braylon, there's been some tweets about certain guys we should draft, and I believe you put one up, or you quote tweeted about Mike Williams. This was
I do that a lot now.
Yeah,
tweet.
This was the tweet that you retweeted. How would you feel the Lions started off 2022 season with these top 4 wide receivers? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Williams, who was a free agent from the Chargers, Drake London, who we would have to draft, and Josh Reynolds. And you retweeted that, and you said, don't forget my boy Quintez Cephas, though.
I definitely said, don't forget Quintez Cephas. You and I have both been high on Quintez Cephas since he was at Wisconsin.
Yep.
Man, I can't even bring up Wisconsin without thinking about what happened on Sunday. But Quintez Cephas is a guy. Let's start. I would like that. The Lions, they need a wide receiver core that can help Jared Goff make the most of his opportunities, to ease the game from him, and to go along with the backfield that we'll have with Swift, Williams, whoever they want to keep in the backfield, Reynolds, whoever they decide to keep in that backfield, we'll see. But to go alongside with Swift, this could be a good wide receiver core. And the reason why I like it so much is very possible. You know, Mike Williams is a guy, he's up free agent. He's out of the Los Angeles Chargers. Should be San Diego still, but the Los Angeles Chargers, he's a guy gonna win most 50-50 balls.
Yep.
If not, you'll get pass interference out of him. Can get the ball, get down the field. Not necessarily a burner, but he's a deep threat. He's a guy that can stretch the field. He's a guy that can get you some 50-50 balls down the field and extend plays. That gets you on the other side of the 50. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you saw what he's able to do.
Great possession.
And this is him by himself.
Right.
This is pretty much Amon-Ra St. Brown by his kind of self last year, trying to figure it out. Now imagine you put him with his former teammate, Drake London, a guy out of USC, 6'5".
And they've been tweeting each other back and forth publicly, like, hey, man, can't wait to play with you again and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you get him, play again on the same team again. You got another guy that can stretch the field, another 50-50 jump ball winner. These guys have chemistry. These guys play together. And then last but not least, Josh Reynolds is a guy that came on strong. Jared Goff knows him well from their 4 years in Los Angeles. You see how the team changed. Kory, I'll bring this to you. You see how the team changed when Josh Reynolds got here. Not just from the wide receiver room, but definitely that wide receiver room. Talk about Josh Williams and then getting Quintez Cephas back off IR.
Quintez Cephas, you know, we really didn't really get to see much of him in his what he can really do. I mean, he looked like he was about to try to get off in that Packers game, and then boom, collarbone injury. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. I do like the idea of drafting up Drake London. You know, him and Amon-Ra got their rapport. But Mike Williams, I'm kind of out on. I mean, they already went ahead and tried signing an injury-prone receiver when they got Tyrell Williams last year. That didn't particularly work out, and that was a guy that they thought was going to come into the season being the number 1. So I'm kind of like backing off on that. I would love to see if they can pull it off. I don't know what kind of money they have and what kind of money he'll be commanding, but I would love to see Allen Robinson try to bring him back into the fold and get him back home. But Josh Reynolds, they got to bring him back.
Yeah.
You seen when they signed Josh. First off, let's talk about what happened when Josh Reynolds went ahead and hit the waiver. There were reports that Jared Goff, what Josh Reynolds said, Jared Goff hit him up and said, hey, did we claim you yet? That guys obviously have a report. You saw Jared Goff become a more comfortable quarterback when Josh Reynolds got out there, because when they got Josh Reynolds, that wasn't the Jared Goff you saw the first 8 games of the season. The first start half of the season. You start to see him become more comfortable throwing balls his way, and you got a guy who knows the team, knows the offense. I think that he should be a priority to bring back.
A lot of things started to come together when Josh Reynolds joined the lineup. Like, not only that, you know, Taylor Decker came back a couple of games later. Dan Campbell took over the play calling, and it just seemed like those 4 things that kind of happened all within the same couple weeks is really what propelled the Lions to actually finish strong on the season. So I do love keeping Josh Reynolds. Really, out of all those 4 wide receivers, you're kind of just rotating in who that restricted free agent or that free agent is that you want to bring in. And I got a list of the 2022 free agents here, and I want to go around with you guys to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But what you got, Braylon?
Yeah, before we get that, I just want to say one thing. Like, Allen Robinson's a guy I really like. I know he's from here. He's homegrown. We talked about that on Monday. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Penn State University. So we talked about that. The problem with him, I think his tag is going to be more than Mike Williams. And Mike Williams, he got hurt. Tyrell Williams ain't never done what Mike Williams done. Mike Williams was the man in college. Mike Williams was also
great
the man.
at Clemson,
exactly.
man.
He was a
Wasn't for that
man.
back injury?
You see what
Ugh.
I'm saying? He was a man at Clemson. Then he also had some time split as the man out there in LA. He had Keenan. Keenan to me is one of my favorite route runners in the NFL, so it's hard to go against him. But I think he's a guy that's looking for like that breath of fresh air. He's looking for a place. He's looking for someone to believe in.
He runs the route tree.
Exactly.
And
And
you saw when
and-
Herbert became the quarterback, he started to use him.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say about Josh Reynolds. Another reason why the success started to happen with Jared Goff is when you started to see Josh Reynolds ran the routes like Jared Goff was accustomed to seeing them.
Right.
Josh Reynolds has run the routes. He knows the tree. He knows the way that Jared likes to throw the ball because of their time. So when he got here, the other wide receivers were able to see it and start like, okay, we got to do this. Or we need to break it off exactly at 18. We need to come here. When you, as a quarterback, you have guys that run it the way that you're used to, run it the way that you're comfortable with, it easily goes into we're here. You can close your eyes and do it. And I think that's what he brought to the team is that familiarity of closing my eyes and being on the same page.
Yeah, Gromit's saying Burks may even drop in the draft. I don't think the Lions have a shot at getting Burks. Traylon's going to be the first wide receiver off the board, in my opinion, and I don't think we don't stretch and get him at 2. That's for damn sure. And we don't wait, and he's not going to be there at 32. I wish he would because I love the way Burks plays. But, okay, let's run through this list real quick.
Let's see what we got.
And, we just discussed Allen Robinson, but I'm also going to give you their age and how much they command salary cap-wise, too, because that's got to be part of this equation, right? Allen Robinson, 28 years old, $18 million against the cap. Thumbs up for Braylon. Kory's undecided.
I'm thumbs up in that because I won't have something to say after all of them, but just this one because he's a Detroit guy. We gotta give him a little more love. Is that $18 million? You're gonna have to spend money to be good. Like in some places, you're gonna have to spend some dollars. And if it's $18 million for Allen Robinson, somebody's still under that 30, still 28. You gotta go for it. $18 million. You gotta go for it. You gotta have to spend money.
Yeah,
it takes money to make money. Stretch money. Shout out.
I'm just running down this list right now, and this guy is somebody that I'm interested in, and I'm shocked at how young he is still. Chris Godwin. He's not even 26 years old, but you're talking a salary cap hit of about $16 million. Are you thumbs up or thumbs down on Chris Godwin?
A thumbs up because I think he's going to ask for more money. I think he's going to get more money because he is young. It's an ACL tear. They happen all the time. I tore my ACL literally rookie year. That's 2005, and I came back and started that next year. So they're not with their UCB. He'll come back. He still has a lot left to play. His tag is because when they mention him, like Chris Godwin was the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah.
A couple times over.
Better than Evans and AB?
At one point, yeah.
Okay.
At one point he was, especially if you look at the year that Godwin had before Tom Brady got there. Godwin was the man. He was the only one that made the Pro Bowl. Mike Evans didn't make the Pro Bowl the year before Tom got there in 2019. Godwin did. Come back the next year. Godwin made it again. So he's got a lot less. He's already done a lot. But his price tag and just coming off, it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be upwards of 20.
Yeah, I think that price tag is scary for me, but also too, with you said him still being young, he can still relate to that young wide receiver locker room, and he knows what it takes to win. So I think that would be a really big influence on that Lions locker room if they can get him. It's all about the number, though.
Yeah.
How many years
That's
do you sign a guy
invaluable.
like Godwin to? Because some of these guys we'll get to them, they're a little long in the tooth, so maybe they're like a 1-year contract. Godwin to me is like a guy that you
5.
can. Yeah, I was going to say that you build
option
around.
after 3.
Okay.
I do 5 3-year option.
Godwin and Reynolds, with Amon Ra, that's
Drake London maybe because I think Drake's gonna slide. I don't even think you need to take Drake with that 32nd pick. I think Drake
probably get him in like the third,
the 34th. You think third?
Okay.
Well, let's see what happens next week because the combine is coming up. So we'll see whether his stock rises or drops.
This is true.
All right, next on the list, 29 years old, about $14.5 million against the cap, Devontae Adams. And I mean, to me, if you can get Devontae Adams, you get Devontae Adams.
Oh, yeah,
he ain't coming.
Yeah, no, he ain't coming. So I think it's 15-6 to sign the free agent tag, which the Green Bay Packers are going to do. I think regardless if Aaron Rodgers comes or not, and that's why another reason I had a problem with Aaron Rodgers' whole long spiel of appreciating players after my putting chakra cleanse that we'll talk about as well, which is a very nasty cleanse. They should have made that public, but he should tell them what he wants to do now. If you believe and love those players like you say you do, then don't hold those guys hostage. But Devontae Adams, man, you looking at it. You're looking at $30 million wide receiver, so he ain't coming here.
I am not gonna even. I'm gonna say no because I'm not about to even let my mind drift there. No,
it's like the hot chick you see at the bar. Again, like, I ain't even gonna try.
I want y'all to know. I'm not saying no to his talent. I'm just saying no to the idea because I'm not gonna let my mind. I'm not even gonna just let that thought creep in my head.
All right, 27, almost 28 years old. Will Fuller, about $10 million against the cap. This is some guy I thought the Lions possibly could have traded for last year. I thought that was like, I believe there were rumors about that too. They didn't go up and get him, but Kory, you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was a guy I thought they were going to get last year. I'm on the same page. I got to go back and look at some more tape of what he did this season because I mean the Texans were. They were Texans. They were really trash. So if you can, he's a guy that I would take a chance on, depending on what number you can get him at. You can bring him in here. He's shown that he's a reliable receiver. But again, it's all about the number.
Yeah, Will Fuller's definitely a guy. I feel the same way about Notre Dame. You look at what he did. Deshaun's last year there, Will was balling. Will held it down, especially once DeAndre Hopkins left 3 years ago.
Right.
Will Fuller was the guy that kind of held it down for Deshaun Watson and that offense down there in Texas. So he's a guy I like. But once again, it comes down to what's that number looking like. But I wouldn't mind him at all because he's a guy that's one of those mid-range receivers, like 6'2", 6'1.5", but can run and can play big too. So he kind of gives you 2 for 1.
He's reliable.
Yeah, 100%.
Here you go, a former Jet, which I know you love, Braylon. Jamison Crowder, 28 years old, almost 29, a little bit under $10 million a year.
I'm cool.
You good?
I'm good on Crowder.
That's hard pass for everybody in the room. What the hell did Jamison Crowder do to any of you?
He doesn't show up consistently.
For one, I wasn't really a fan of his play this season, or really at any point. And if you want to get personal, he cost me in fantasy, so double no.
The thing about it is. I know he played with a couple different quarterbacks last year. Last year he played with 3 different quarterbacks. He played with Wilson, he played with Flacco, and he played with White. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah. He played with Mark White.
Mike White.
He played with Mike White. He played with 3 different quarterbacks. So it's always tough to get used to 3 different cadences, 3 different types of pass, 3 different whatevers. But you still can get open. Like, that's one thing that the quarterback has nothing to do with is you getting open. I saw him look to be in spaces where he didn't create separation a lot this year. So, no thank you.
T.Y. Hilton, 32 years old.
Nah.
But you're going to get him at a value probably this year. I mean, he's coming off not a great season as he was injured. You taking this type of risk on a veteran like that, or is it not worth the squeeze?
Yeah. Whenever you're dealing with a veteran, it always provides that veteran experience. T.Y. Hilton is one of the most underrated receivers for a long time. And that Andrew Luck era, kind of end of Peyton, the beginning of Andrew Luck, very underrated, didn't get the credit he deserved. He was going off every year. But fast forward, you're talking 32. He'll be 33 this year. I'll pass. Like that experience is invaluable, but I'll pass on that one.
I think T.Y. Hilton is just a name. He is the type of player that the previous Lions regime would pick and sell you on, and like, oh, this guy's going to be a game changer. No, go ahead.
Show you
I would rather them go ahead and just
ago.
stick with this youth movement, get guys that are under 30 or draft somebody. I do not want to see the Lions pick up any wide receiver that is over 30. I think that's going backwards.
You don't want them to bring back Brandon Marshall?
No Emmanuel Sanders?
Emmanuel Sanders will be a different story because I believe he was he was still showing he was
had a better year than Stephon Diggs.
35 years old.
You said
35 years old.
He had a better year than Stephon Diggs.
Oh, 35 years old.
I mean, I wouldn't bring him either, but I'm just saying if you're going to go get somebody who's out there still putting up numbers.
The hell with Emmanuel Sanders. He caught the pass and got the first down in the AFC Championship that lost his game, so he kissed my ass.
Well, here's another guy that I think is a very interesting, intriguing young guy that Lions could potentially build around.
No.
You follow him on TikTok.
No.
You know him.
No.
You love him.
No.
Juju Smith-Schuster, baby.
No. Hell no. Thank you. I appreciate that one. Hell no.
Why hell no?
We talked about this the other day. My biggest problem with Juju Smith-Schuster, I know he's young. I know you make mistakes. I know you're growing to who you're talking to me. I made a lot of mistakes. The one thing that I didn't make a mistake on is loving my first job. My job was football. Like, football is what they brought me into the NFL to do. Football is what got me money to buy jewelry, to buy cars, to let women chase me. Like, that all comes with playing football first, going to practice, making that your focal point. Not the other way around. Not trying to be famous and then trying to figure football out. He cares more about being viral on social media than he does about working and getting to the bottom of how do I get back good? How do I get like my first 2 years? His first 2 years, he was amazing in the NFL. Right. And then after he got into it with AB, he proved AB wrong that 1 year when he became Mr. 90-yard touchdown. He had 3 years.
Remember the story about his stolen bike and how he was able to find it in
that
Pittsburgh?
That was his first year.
Like, that's the kind of guy you want on the team, right?
You also want a guy on the team who's not going to do a crates challenge 2 days before training camp starts. He did the crate challenge. Let me look into the camera. Hell no on Juju Schuster. This man did the crate challenge last year, 2 days before the training camp started. And guess what? You see that? That's the same face that everybody in Pittsburgh made. They were like, what the hell are we doing with this guy at USC? You know what? Get him out of here.
Kory?
2 reasons why it's a hard-ass pass.
Because he can play when he's playing.
For one, he did all of this in Pittsburgh. What the hell you think he gonna do in Detroit with all of this temptation? Remember,
Andre Drummond on a Saturday night.
I don't want to sandbag anybody, but Andre Drummond and Eric Ebron were in the club life. You know it.
Oh, I know.
Imagine what Juju's gonna do here and all that
Juju is gonna get with what's his name? Jay Floyd.
Bravo.
He gonna get with Bob.
He about to be a 29
Jay Floyd, Drake, Annex, Drake.
Yeah, why don't we want him here? Then we get to party with him.
Jay Neely.
Yeah, and then the second reason,
we're gonna reopen Good Life Lounge just for Juju.
The second reason is that I actually like Dan Campbell, and I think that if you put Juju Smith in that locker room, Dan Campbell might kill him. So no.
Yeah.
Well, those are pretty much the main free agents that are available. AJ Green's on here, but I don't think we want the ghost of AJ Green, do we?
He did good. He looked good last year, and actually he had a very smooth role that they put him in. He said, "Hey man, former number one, we're going to put you against the guy, put you on the opposite side of the guy that's arguably the number one wide receiver right now, DeAndre Hopkins." He played well in that role until D-Hop got hurt.
Yeah, to me, AJ Green's the anti-Stafford. Like, you leave, you go to an organization, you tank that, and then your other team goes to the Super Bowl. Yeah. How does that feel?
That's the only reason I'm glad the Bengals didn't win, because that would have been so heartbreaking for him.
Oh, so salty if you're AJ Green. All right, well, that's the free agent talk. There's a couple more on here. We already discussed Mike Williams. There's Sammy Watkins, Keelan Cole, Albert Wilson, Zay Jones. Those guys are all interesting, but I don't think really worth too much of a conversation here.
Zay Jones is an interesting one. Not for us, per se, because I feel like we have Quintez Cephas. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we are going to pick up one. But Zay Jones is a very interesting one for a couple franchises. Don't be surprised if he signs a decent-sized one in Las Vegas.
Can I cause a little controversy in here?
Always.
I want to preface my comments by saying, one, don't believe he's coming here, and two, don't believe there's a chance in hell he's coming here. Same thing, I'm saying it 2 times differently. OBJ?
Oh.
If you can get him on, because the thing is,
right,
I don't know if the Rams are going to bring him back because of that tear, and you're obviously going to get him on a super discount.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he's not getting any offers, do you at least see what he's talking about?
I think, to me, he's totally changed the way I think about Odell Beckham Jr. Like, I'll be the first to admit I thought he was the problem in New York, thought he was a little bit of part of the problem in Cleveland. It turns out dude was not part of the problem. He's part of the solution to get you a damn Super Bowl.
He is, but you're talking about an individual now. This will be year 9 for Odell, I believe, coming up, and you're talking about 2 ACL tears on the same exact knee within a snapshot of 15 months. That's a tough sell.
Bargain shopping, baby.
I know he's not coming. Like I said, he's not coming.
Oh, no. But it could happen, to be honest, because he could be looking for a place to play. I just think that's tough for the Lions organization and franchise to actually make that move. You're talking about 2 ACL tears, same exact knee, within 15 months. Oh, by the way, we're a field turf stadium. Nah, you don't want to put that AC on that field turf.
Just wanted to ruffle some feathers in here real quick.
Well, thank you for that, Kory.
You've reached the end of the video. You know what you should do? Press like. You know you like the content that we have here at Woodward Sports Network. I'm Braylon Edwards from the bottom line. Subscribe to us right now.